This is Clear Sky Productions here, and what better time than the NHL off-season than to do a video ranking every NHL logo from worst to best. I've actually been meaning to do a video on this for quite a while now, actually. Just never got around to doing it until now. So one thing I want to do real quick before I start this video is this. I just want to say there are going to be some very unpopular opinions. That's right, I said it. Opinions on this list. It's not like the entire list or anything. It's just there are a few logos specifically that come to my mind that will be on this list that I know are probably going to generate a bunch of dislikes. And I'm not joking. I mean, I made a Major League Baseball mascots ranking video about 3 years ago now, and I've gotten like half of the video's ratings are dislikes, and most of the people complaining in the comments were people who complained that I put the Philly Fanatic at number 3 instead of number 1. You heard me correctly. Most of the dislikes on that video are because I put the Fanatic at number 3 instead of number 1. So if that got 50% dislikes, I just can't even wait to see what the like-dislike ratio on this video is going to be. But as I already said, opinions. I don't need to say any more on that. But anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it and enjoy. Now, even though there will be a few unpopular rankings on this video, I don't think there'll be any controversy with number 31. It's the same as pretty much any NHL ranking video I have seen thus far. Starting off with number 31 is the Washington Capitals. Yeah. Like, why? I mean, yes, the L, the hockey stick, I get that. Besides that, like, this logo has nothing. Like, it's just the word Capitals. Oh, but they threw in, like, the 3 stars, I guess, for good measure. Like, I don't like this logo. It's so boring. And especially, too, like, I mean, they do have that alternate W with, like, the eagle. I'm not the biggest fan of that alternate, but I'd take that over this any day. I mean, like, there's just nothing about it. Like, this looks like a logo to, like, a Wii golf game or something. Some Wii Sports knockoff or something. That's what this looks like, seriously. I don't like it. Like, there's nothing hockey about it, so it's just really boring. Number 30, the Los Angeles Kings. The design of the crown on this one is okay, but other than that, it's so boring. You got black, you got white. I don't know what font that is for the LA, but I don't like it. I mean, and for a team like the Kings, come on, you couldn't, like, throw in some purple in there or something, maybe some red. Like, why does it have to be all grayscale? I've never liked this logo. I mean, I really hate the colors, but not much else about the logo that I really like. Although, I mean, the crown is okay. Okay, here's one of the really unpopular ones. Get ready for this one, guys. I can already see the dislikes flooding in for this one, but here we go. Number 29. The Boston Bruins. I mean, look, I get it. It's classic. It's a historic logo. That, to me, does not always mean it's good. Like, I'm not the kind of guy who's going to defend a logo just because it's old or just because it's historic. And same thing with Major League Baseball stadiums. Like, people I've seen say, oh, Fenway Park is so awesome. It's so old. It's so... I mean, it's okay, I guess. Fenway Park is all right. I know they're not going to really build a new ballpark until it rots. I'm not going to gush all over it because it's old. Same thing with the Bruins logo. I don't like it. I mean, what is it? It's a bee in what looks like a wagon wheel or something. And I saw in some video somewhere the 6 yellow stripes, wheel sport, whatever you want to call them. They are supposed to, like, represent something. I mean, okay, I don't really care. It's still ugly. I don't like the colors, the black, white, the yellow. It's a mess to me. It might have looked good back in the day, but for today's standards, it doesn't hold up. And like the name, Boston Bruins, it's like it's a bear team, I guess, but all we have is a bee in a circle. I'm sorry, I get it, it's old, it's classic, I already get that, but I don't like it. Number 28, the Penguins. This is probably not going to be a popular one on my list either. I'm not really a fan of the penguin design. The design of the penguin just looks boring to me. I think the penguin could use some more character to it. It's just, I don't know, it looks a little bit boring to me. I do like the background triangle. This would be a much better logo if they just kind of updated it a bit. Just the design of the penguin's kind of boring. Make the penguin look a little bit more characteristic. I would like this one more than I do. Alright, number 27, the Vegas Golden Knights. This logo was okay when it was first unveiled, but I don't know, it's just a little bit flat to me. I just think there's more they could have done with a team like the Golden Knights. The logo's kind of flat, two-dimensional. The novelty on this one wore off pretty quick for me. I do kind of like the V, though. You can see, like, the V in the shape of the helmet. That's pretty cool, I guess, but it's not that special otherwise. Number 26, the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, the design of this logo isn't bad, but the colors. These are some of the worst colors they could have possibly chosen for this logo. First off, why red? We already have a lot of red teams as it is. The Canadiens, the Flames, I think the Devils are one of them. Oh yeah, and the Capitals, they have red too. There's just too many red teams out there. And also, if I'm not mistaken, isn't it the Hurricanes who yell the word red during the national anthem? I mean, come on, like, of all teams, the hurricane, red has nothing to do necessarily with a hurricane. I think we see too much red as it is, and then black is just ugly. Like, red and black, I don't like these colors. Now, I saw on Instagram not too long ago, they had Charlotte Hornets night at the Hurricanes game, and for the warm-ups, the Hurricanes had, I'll see if I can find a picture and put it on the screen for you guys. This was their warm-up jerseys for Charlotte Hornets night. You can see they had teal and purple, since those are the Hornets colors. Those colors are honestly so much better than the red and black. If the Hurricanes went to those colors, I seriously would not mind. I would love to see them go to those colors, or at least something different. They're probably not going to go to teal and purple specifically, mainly because those are already the Hornets colors, and they don't want to have the same colors as the Hornets. I get that. That just goes to show it's not the design, it's the colors. Now, if you're not going to go with the same colors as the Hornets and all, what I would suggest, honestly, is change the red to blue and change the black to green. This could possibly be like a top 5 logo for me. It would be so much better than this. I mean, I think blue and green would be a way better color scheme than this. Number 25, the Montreal Canadiens. I don't hate this logo. I actually do like this logo a lot more than the Bruins. And that's because there's only a few logos on this list I actually really don't like. We're getting kind of to the point now where these are logos I don't hate, but there's just a lot of other logos I think are better. I don't hate this one, but it is outdated. And again, as I said with the Bruins logo, I know it's old, classic, historic, all that. I know I don't expect them to do it like a logo update anytime soon, especially since this is the team that has more cups than any team in the NHL. But this to me looks a lot like a college football logo, or even a high school football logo. I know this was definitely in style back in whatever year this was introduced, but for today's standards, it's outdated. I'm not a big fan of like keeping logos just because they're old and historic or whatever. And I know you're gonna hate me for that, but it's okay, I guess. I mean, it's like I said, it is still a lot better than the Bruins logo. I will give it that, but not crazy for it. Okay, number 24, the Arizona Coyotes. The colors are okay for this one, actually, but it's not a very intimidating looking logo to me. It's supposed to look like the Coyotes howling, but it doesn't really look that intimidating or characteristic. Not terrible, but I don't know. Number 23, the New York Islanders. Now this one's backwards for the Carolina Hurricanes. For that one, I hate the colors, I like the design. For this one, I love the colors, I like the blue and the orange together, but I don't know. The design just doesn't suit me. It's okay design-wise. The colors are good, though. I will give it that. And there was a point in time where I did like this logo a lot more, but it's kind of worn off for me. Number 22, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Not much to say about this one. This is another old classic logo. I don't really expect them to do away with anytime soon. That's okay. Not a lot to say on it. I just think it's okay. Not good, not bad. Very middle of the road for me on that one. Number 21 is the Sabres. I do like the colors for this one. I like the gold and the dark blue. Didn't necessarily have to put white in there, but I like the swords. That's my favorite part of this logo. I also do kind of like the buffalo as well, since it is, you know, the Buffalo Sabres. I understand why they did that. The buffalo's okay. I don't think they should have made the buffalo like solid white like that. But I like the swords, though. We're on number 20 now. The Calgary Flames. Not much to say about this logo. It's a red C with flames on it. I don't really know what kind of font that is exactly, but I do like the font. This looks like a logo you'd see at like a race car track or something. The outline is probably one of my favorite things about this logo. And I also love how like it's not just the outline of the sea, but it's also the outline of the flames as well. Like, the flames and the sea are really, like, one together. Number 19, the Tampa Bay Lightning. This logo isn't too bad for me, but I can kind of understand why some people aren't fond of it. I mean, the logo itself is good, but it doesn't really come across as a hockey logo that much. This, to me, looks more like a logo you'd see for, like, a Weather Channel or something than a hockey team. But, you know, the design's not too bad. I have seen better lightning bolt designs out there. One example that comes to my mind, if you've ever seen like those satellite dishes with the red lightning bolt on them, I think it's Andrew Corporation. That's the company that manufactured those things before they merged with some other company. But you can still see those around. Anyway, that bolt logo to me is better than the Tampa Bay Lightning logo. Like, that to me actually looks more like with the red bolt, it looks a little bit more menacing to me. But, you know, Tampa Bay Lightning's not too bad either. I've seen better lightning designs, but I can deal with it. Number 18, the New Jersey Devils. This is not a too bad logo either. I definitely see what they're doing with the N and the J. And I like what they did. Like, they have the horns. I just noticed the horns are on the top while the tail's on the bottom. That's kind of a nice detail. I'm not too fond of the white circle in the background. I don't really know why that's there. They can honestly just get rid of that and just have the NJ, and I'd be fine with that. But otherwise, I don't really have much of a problem with that logo. Number 17, the Anaheim Ducks. There was a point in time where I really hated this logo. I hated it. It made me want to gag just looking at it. But I look at it now, and it's not a horrible logo. But I do understand why it gets so much hate, because this logo does get a lot of hate. And I know why. It's because it's not really a bad logo in itself, but it's because, okay, compare this logo to this logo. Yeah, huge difference right there, isn't there? If the Anaheim Ducks were still using their old logo from when they debuted in 93, Anaheim would be in the top 3 for me. The old logo is so amazing. This logo, not as much. It's just, and I guess that's why this logo gets so much hate, because it's like, why would they go from this to this? It's just such a step down to me. Actually, it's like 10 steps down to me. But again, it's not a horrible logo. If they had this logo from the beginning, it wouldn't be hated nearly as much as it is. But it's just so inferior to the old logo. I really hope they bring the old logo back. They still use the old logo for an alternative jersey, which is very interesting for me, because it's like the Ducks themselves know that people like the old logo, so it's like, on one hand, I'm glad they still use the alternative, but at the same time, it's like, why not just make that your primary logo? I don't really know, but case in point, old logo way better than this one, but I don't really hate this one as blindly anymore. That was number 17. Number 16 is the Philadelphia Flyers. This is another logo I see a lot in people's like top 10 and stuff. I mean, on the surface, it's a good looking logo. It's kind of outdated. Not nearly as outdated as the Canadiens, in my opinion, but it is a little outdated. My favorite thing about this logo, I like the P. You can see like the slanted P in the logo for Philadelphia. And then there's like wings, which I'm guessing are supposed to be because, you know, it's the Flyers. Not really a fan of the feathers or wings, whatever you want to call them, but I do like the P, I guess. And the colors aren't too bad either. The black and the orange. A little bit of white in there. Good colors. Okay design. A little outdated, but you know, not too bad. Number 15, the New York Rangers. This is another logo, kind of like the Ducks. I used to hate this logo a lot more, but it's kind of gotten to me. I like the colors because I like the shade of blue they use. It's like, it's not like baby blue, but it's a little bit lighter blue than most logos in the NHL. Goes good with the red and the white. I like the badge design too. And I really like, too, this diagonal word Rangers on there. It's kind of hard to explain, but I like how it's diagonal. Just, it makes it look a little bit more interesting compared to, like, other logos that aren't necessarily, you know, slanted or anything like that. It looks nice. Number 14, the Edmonton Oilers. Yet another logo, actually, I used to dislike a lot more than I do. I really like the font. The font goes so well with the name Oilers. I'm still not really fond of what they do, like, on the bottom of the letters, how it, like, runs down or drips down or whatever. I could kind of do without that, but I do like the font. I like the oil drop, I guess. That's cool, too. And I like the colors. The dark blue and the white go really well together. And you got a little bit of orange in there, too. So, it's a good logo. It's kind of gotten to me. Number 13, the Nashville Predators. It's a definitely menacing looking logo to me. I definitely like the design of the fangs. The fangs are what really make this logo stand out for me. The fangs are what really make this logo look as menacing as it looks. You know, you got this, it's a predator head that looks like it's about to rip the head off of whatever prey it's going after. It's a intimidating looking logo. Not fond of the colors necessarily, but it's a good design. Number 12, my least favorite team in the NHL, but I have to admit they do have a pretty good logo. The St. Louis Blues. I like how they have like the note slanted with the wings behind it. Like the note is flying forward. And that's because like it actually looks kind of intimidating. And that's what's actually pretty impressive about this logo is it's pretty hard to have a logo look intimidating when it's a music note. But somehow they did it. I like just the way it's slanted forward and the wings. It's intimidating. It's the most intimidating music note I've ever seen. So I definitely got to give whoever designed this logo credit for that, because making a music note look intimidating is not easy to do. But someone did it. They did a pretty darn good job at it, if you ask me. Good colors too, the dark blue and the gold. So yeah, that's, even though I despise the Blues, they're literally my least favorite team in the NHL, they do have a nice logo, I have to give them that. Speaking of wings, number 11, the Detroit Red Wings. This is probably my favorite logo that has wings on it, because it's my favorite wing design. The wings just seem so detailed on this logo, and I really like how it looks. Very similar to with the St. Louis Blues in that regard, is not just because it's a logo with wings, but again, with the Blues, you have an intimidating looking music note. With the Red Wings, they have an intimidating looking tire. And the tire makes sense, it being Detroit, Motor City and all that, so it's very representative of Detroit. In fact, definitely out of any sports logo in all of Detroit, the Red Wings are definitely the most representative of the city of Detroit. But, it's a good design. I love the detail on this logo. It's a good design for the tire and the wings. I like the colors. I like the style. And even though it is kind of outdated, it's a good kind of outdated. And I'm sorry, I know the Bruins and Canadiens fans are going to rip my head off for that, but I'm sorry. But you know what though? Hey, this is an original 6 team, so that right there just tells you I'm not hating on the original 6 teams for the sake of it. There are some good logos in the original 6, and the Red Wings are one of them. Okay, so the top 10. Here we go. Number 10, the Winnipeg Jets. So I could do without it being a round logo, but except for that, I love this logo. You got the jet and how it's incorporated into the maple leaf. That to me is astonishing. I love the creativity of that design, the maple leaf and the jet together. It represents Canada very, very well, and also represents the name Winnipeg Jets very well. And one thing I do like about this logo, as opposed to the Maple Leafs logo, is that the leaf is actually dark red. I don't know, I'm not really fond of the blue and the Maple Leafs logo, and it's not just any shade of red too, it's a really good looking red. Number 9, my favorite original 6 logo, the Chicago Blackhawks, which is another logo. I know it's in my top 10. A lot of people put this in like the top 3, and I already know people are gonna hate me for it because, I didn't put the Fanatic at number 1, I put it at number 3, and people hated that. People might hate this too, but I really like this logo. It's a great looking Indian head. It's a much more realistic looking head too, compared to say Chief Wahoo of the Cleveland Indians. Now I like Chief Wahoo, but the more I think about it, I think the Blackhawks Indian head is much better than the Chief Wahoo head. It's not nearly as cartoony. It's more realistic, but the artwork is still great in this logo. A lot of vibrant colors and like the feathers and everything. And it's iconic too. I don't hate iconic logos for the sake of it. There are some iconic logos I really enjoy, and the Blackhawks are one of them. And even though there are 8 logos I do like more than this one, I still like this logo a lot. And it's still my favorite original 6 logo. Alright, number 8, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, I love the colors for this logo, the red, white, and the blue. Or I guess that's actually red, silver, and blue, but still, the colors are still really good. But I really like the 3-dimensional shape of the star on this logo, and you got like that swoosh coming around it. It looks great, it's unique. It's very easy to make like a star-shaped logo, and have it just be like a 2-dimensional star. Like, one reason why I'm not fond of the Cowboys logo. And hey, look, it's okay, because I live in the DFW area, so you don't have to call me a hater or anything. I'm not a fan of the Cowboys, I'm sorry. And their logo doesn't help either. But this is a good star logo, though. Though I will say this, though. At least Dallas does have a star-shaped logo that is, as good as this logo is still better than the Blue Jackets logo. You'll have to wait and see what logo I'm talking about. But I already made it clear, though, it's not the Cowboys logo, so don't ask. But that aside, this is a really cool logo for me. Great colors, but even better design. Number 7. The Vancouver Canucks. It's a really imitating looking logo. I like the killer whale. I like the artwork too, how it has kind of that Alaskan totem pole looking vibe to it, which is actually very representative of Vancouver. I was in Vancouver a couple years ago, and they have like a park with totem poles and stuff in it. So yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of that kind of culture in Vancouver, and I think this logo does a great job at representing that Vancouver culture. And it's a good, intimidating looking logo as well. And I like killer whales too, so there's that too. It's a good logo, and you got the C in there as well. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this one. Okay, number 6, the San Jose Sharks. Great colors on this one. The black and the teal go really well together, and it's one of the most menacing looking logos in the NHL. And I love too how they have like the orange in the eye. That minor detail just makes it so much more menacing to me. And you got it biting the hockey stick too, so you throw in the hockey vibe in there as well. It's a great hockey logo. It's a great menacing logo, which I know it's not a very old team. San Jose is not an old team, but I would actually call it a rather iconic logo. It's great. Number 5. Okay, very underrated logo for me. A lot of people have this one a lot higher on their list, but the more I look at this next logo, the more I like it. Good enough to be my top 5, which kind of surprises even me, but sure enough, in number 5, we have the Florida Panthers. I am probably like one of 3 people on the whole planet who actually thinks this logo is better than the old logo. The old logo for me is okay, but I don't know why. Like, I don't really get, like, I guess the old logo is a little bit more generic than the new logo is. The old logo for me, and again, I'm not saying the old logo is bad, but kind of like with the Canadiens logo, I feel like the Panthers logo is more of what you would see with like a high school or a college team. So it's kind of boring in that sense. It's a little bit too generic for me, but I really like this new logo. I like the badge shape of it, and as if I haven't committed heresy in the hockey community already, I would even go as far as to say this badge logo is better than the Rangers logo. And my dislikes probably just spiked up another 30%. I like the badge logo, I like the colors, and I love the design of the Panther. I like how it's not one of those two-dimensional logos, kind of like the old Panthers logo and the Golden Knights logo, how it's kind of two-dimensional. Like, this logo does look a little bit more three-dimensional in that the Panthers like kind of looking to the side rather than straight ahead. But this logo ironically looks more intimidating to me than the old logo does, which people might disagree with that. But it's weird, like even though the old logo was like coming right at you like this, the face of the Panther just looks more intimidating on this one. It's just better to me. I like this logo a lot, and I like it more as I look at it. Number 4, the Colorado Avalanche. This logo has always been one of my favorite logos in the NHL. I love the A, I love the color of the A, I love the snow coming down, and like I like how the snow too like makes it look like a capital A, like going across. The white and the snow and that burgundy color of the A, it's just such a great looking logo to me. And I know a lot of people aren't too fond of it, but I just love this logo a lot. I don't really know why, but this to me is just one of my favorites. It's great. Colors are great, designs are great, everything about this logo is just great for me. Okay, number 3, definitely the most underrated. Like if I was doing a top whatever list of underrated logos, this one would definitely be number 1 for me. A lot of people just don't like this next logo, but this is my favorite underrated logo. Number 3, the Ottawa Senators. The colors of this logo are great. I like the gold and the red. They look so great together. But just the design too. Like it's such an unusual design for a sports logo, but it's definitely an intimidating looking logo. It's definitely an intimidating looking senator. And I don't know, I like the uniqueness of this logo. Kind of that old ancient history vibe to it. This looks like something you would see in like your history textbook or something. It makes for such a weird hockey logo, but it does make for a great hockey logo at the same time. Because like I said, it's an intimidating, menacing looking logo. It's a unique theme, and I just think it works very well for a hockey logo. And because it's so unique, on top of being a great design, that's why this is in my top 3. I can't get over how great this logo is. Not really sure why people aren't fond of this logo, but I for one love it. Okay, number 2. The Dallas Stars. I know some of you are probably a little bit surprised that this isn't number 1 in my book, but it came very close. There's only one logo that just barely beats out this logo. And this isn't even just because I happen to be a Dallas Stars fan. I mean, this logo is great. The silver, the green is perfect. The color scheme for this team and subsequently for this logo is just perfect. I love what they do with the three-dimensional look on the D and the star. I even love like the slant of the star logo. Even though like the star itself isn't necessarily three-dimensional like the Columbus Blue Jackets star is. You know, like I said, the D in the center makes up for that. It's still a great three-dimensional looking logo. The colors are great. I like everything about this logo is just great. And another reason why I like this logo as well is because, see, most hockey redesign logos are not as good as the originals, but for this one, I make an exception. I actually really like this logo a lot more than the old logo. And the old Stars logo isn't bad, but this is just such a step up in many ways. I love this logo a lot. And, you know, being a Stars fan, that might contribute to it to an extent. It's a really good looking logo to me. But there is still one logo that is better. And at this point, I don't really need to do like a drum roll or anything, because I know a lot of you are probably thinking, yep, he hasn't shown us that one logo yet. Of course, he's saving it for number one. And yes, you are correct. Number one is, in fact, the Minnesota Wild. This is definitely, in my opinion, the best logo in NHL, and is even better than probably any North American sports logo out there. This is truly one of the most iconic and one of the greatest logos in anything I have ever seen. I hope the Wild never, ever change this logo, no matter how long of a team they exist. I hope they never change this logo, like, ever. The red for the sunset, or I guess sunrise logo, whichever. The red for that sky is so great. And it's like just the right shade of red. So it's like a very refreshing looking red. It's a very nature looking red. Like, that's the kind of red you really would see in a sky where the sun was rising or setting or whatever. Perfect shade of red. I love the shade of the trees too. Great shade of green. You got the sun, which looks really good too. The landscape for this logo is just so it's gorgeous. But there is still, of course, the thing about this logo, which it took me forever to see this logo. In fact, I think someone else had to point it out to me for me to even catch this. Now, I love this logo when I first saw it. I first saw this logo at my first Stars game I ever went to, because the Wild happened to be the visiting team. And I was looking at that logo thinking, that is the greatest looking logo I've ever seen. I'm cheering for the Stars, but that Wild logo is so great. But I didn't notice that day, and I didn't notice for months after, the bear head in the logo. You got the shooting star as the eye, the river as the mouth, and even like the nose of the bear. Before I ever figured out that was supposed to be a bear head, I kept thinking, why is there larger patch of green on this side? That to me kind of seems unnecessary, but it's not unnecessary now because it's the nose of the bear. And it makes sense too because it's Minnesota. Pretty sure bears live up there in Minnesota, I think. I don't know. I could ramble on and on about how perfect and how majestic this logo is. It truly is the greatest logo in NHL, and probably, like I said, in all of North American sports, if not all of sports in general. And yes, I actually said that. Alright guys, that just about wraps it up. That is my NHL rankings, logo, whatever video you want to call it. Thank you as always for watching, and be sure to like, comment, subscribe, or dislike, comment, and subscribe. I once again hereby apologize solemnly to all Boston Bruins fans, Canadiens fans, Penguins fans, and I know they're in my top 10, but to the Blackhawks fans as well, since they weren't in my top 3 or whatever. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and I would like to know your thoughts on whether you agree or disagree or whatever. And that's about it. So I will try to keep up with some of these sports-related videos until we eventually see sports come back from all the mess that's going on in the world right now. I have no doubt we will see sports again very, very soon. I do not know exactly when, but we will see them very soon. I do know that. When Major League Baseball season does come around, whenever that is, I'm guessing probably the beginning of June most likely, but when that comes around, I will be doing a predictions video on Major League Baseball. I'm not going to do one yet just because, you know, we don't know like how long is the season going to be and all that. Might be some variables in that, but I will do a Major League Baseball predictions video when the time comes right for that. Until then, please watch out for that, and until next time, this is Clear Sky Productions signing off. Good night, folks.